Women have been in combat for many years, and the general public often doesn't realize that. They think women are excluded from combat. Women are excluded from combat roles, or have been until recently. But they have been at the tip of the spear in military police, in signal, in medical. Myself, I've earned 3 different combat patches from service in Somalia and Iraq. What's changed recently is women are no longer excluded from a specific combat, what's called an MOS, military occupational specialty. So now infantry, engineers, those roles are opening to women. The discussion is often about whether they're strong enough to load artillery rounds or drag their wounded comrade away from the battle to safety. And that's a valid discussion. I think it's important for whoever does the job to meet the standards. In terms of psychological issues for women going into these combat roles, much of it is around they're really being put up to public scrutiny. Are they going to make it or not? And a tremendous sense of failure if they don't make it. So I think actually that's something that can be overcome. What the Navy found is when they put women on ships, you had to have enough women in the role that they didn't feel like they were in a glass bowl. If you put 1 or 2 women on a ship, it didn't work. You had to have 20% of the ship or so be female. And I think as we move more into the traditionally combat roles, we've got to make sure that there's enough women there that they can provide camaraderie and support to each other. For women who are wearing uniforms, traditionally it's been the male uniform that they put on. Your battle dress uniform is the same for women and for men. Now the uniforms you wear back in garrison, in other words at home, are a little bit differently. They're differently designed to accommodate breasts and hips and other things. But the traditional uniform has been the same without accommodations. And by uniform, it's not just the trousers and jacket, it's also the helmet and the gear that you wear, what we used to call TA-50 that you put on. And so, for example, I have a very small head, and the helmets were always too big for me, and I could never get a helmet that fit right. And similarly, women have had problems with wearing gas masks that fit well or others. So now the uniforms, they're trying to design better ones that accommodate female bodies and also are more flexible for smaller men as well.